Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a bit of a reading list video. So these are the books that I have been reading or will be reading in the future. So if you want any good book suggestions, then keep watching. So firstly, hello, how are you? I hope you're all okay and doing well despite the circumstances at the moment. Feels really weird to be doing a sit down video because I haven't done one of these in quite a while. It's just difficult to know what kind of videos I want to make at the moment when some days I'm up, sometimes I'm like down, and I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I don't know how I feel. Like some days are really good, some days are really hard, and I think like anybody, like we're all just going through the motions a little bit, aren't we? But one thing that I have been doing to sort of keep my mind busy is reading. I love to read anyway, and if you followed me for any length of time, you probably know that. I love a good book, and it's been a welcome distraction at the moment because I just sometimes like to switch my brain off and focus on like somebody else's life. But I have a selection of books. I'm a bit of like a book collector. I tend to go through phases. So it was my birthday back in January. I bought myself some books, and I bought a few just before things got a little bit more serious here in the UK in terms of coronavirus, because I anticipated maybe needing some things to read. So I'm lucky that I've got a pile of books to get through, and then obviously once I'm done I can pass them on to somebody else nearby to me, which is nice. But I'm going to crack on and go through them all and just sort of like share which ones I picked out and why, this, that and the other. So I'm going to start with this one because this is one that I've just recently finished, and this is The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary, and I really enjoyed this book. The general premise is that there is a guy who is trying to save some money. He works as a palliative care nurse and he works nights, and he is thinking, right, well I'll just do a flat share. But the issue is that the flat only has one bed, so the idea is that he will have it during the night and then a new occupant will have it during the day, and this other occupant turns out to be a girl called Tiffy. I don't want to go any more into it than that because it's just a really light-hearted, fun read. Some of it's a little bit like, you know, like you'd only read that in a book kind of thing, but I quite liked it because it was just nice escapism. Like on the back, Sunday Express has called it A Sleepless in Seattle for the 21st Century, and it is lovely to see it like come together. I think it would actually make a really good like movie as well. So that's the first one, and then with the rest of them I'm just going to go through them in a random order. So the first one that I've got here is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. Now I've read books by Lisa before, and to be honest with you, if I'm going to pick up a book, most of the time it's going to be a thriller most of the time. But I mean, a lot of what I've chosen like recently is actually quite uplifting stuff because I feel like it suits the mood. But I saw this, my friend Katie Ellison had been reading this and she shared it, and I thought, oh, I might get that as well. So the blurb for this one is: in a large house in London's fashionable Chelsea, a baby is awake in her cot. She's well fed and cared for, and she's happily waiting for someone to pick her up. In the kitchen lie 3 decomposing corpses. Close to them is a hastily scrawled note. They've been dead for several days, so who's been looking after the baby and where did they go? I mean, that's creepy as anything, isn't it? But I'm really looking forward to reading this. I think Lisa Jewell is a fantastic author, and I think this might be the next one that I pick up just because I feel like after some like light-hearted reading I need something a bit more like gripping. So that's the next one. Now the next book actually caught my eye when I was doing some shopping recently in my local supermarket. Now obviously you should only ever be going out, I should say this now, for your essentials, and that's what I was doing at the time. But this caught my eye because a lot of supermarkets do have books out, which I was kind of pleased to see because this was one that I wouldn't have known was out unless I'd seen it on the shelf, and it's by the author of One Day in December, which is a book that I read recently and I thought it was fantastic. The author is Josie Silver, but this is the blurb anyway. So Lydia and Freddie and Lydia, they've been together for almost a decade, and Lydia thinks their love is indestructible, but she's wrong because on her 27th birthday Freddie dies in a car accident. So now it's just just Lydia, and all she wants to do is hide indoors and sob until her eyes fall out. But Lydia knows that Freddie would want her to live her life as well, so enlisting with the help of his best friend and her sister Elle, she takes her first tentative steps into the world and starts to live, perhaps even to love again. Then something unbelievable happens and Lydia gets another chance at her old life with Freddie. But what if there's someone in her new life who wants her to stay? And that just kind of, I don't know, it reminded me almost of like P.S. I Love You, but with a twist. And Jodie Pickle rates it anyway, because she said, I read the 2 lives of Lydia Bird in a single sitting, crying, laughing and rooting for the heroine, and I just thought it'd be a really nice one to read. So that's the next one. Now this one I've seen shared quite a few times. It's a Sunday Times bestseller, and it's also been shortlisted for the Costa First Novel Award, and it is basically, it's called Queenie, and it says, meet Queenie, journalist, catastrophist, expressive, aggressive, loved, lonely. Enough, a darkly comic and bitterly submersive take on life, love, race and family. Queenie will have you nodding in recognition, crying in solidarity and rooting for this unforgettable character every step of the way. And yeah, it's had really good reviews. Like honestly, the first few pages are full of rave reviews, and I wanted to give it a go myself. So yeah, that is another one as well. I love the front cover as well. It's by a lady called Carty-Williams, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Now the next book I believe is a bit of a cult book, or it was quite popular when Reese Witherspoon shared it in her book club. I think it was her anyway, and it's called The Raunchy Project, and again this is very popular, loads of good reviews. It's definitely like not new to the market, but it's certainly new to me, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. So, love isn't an exact science, but no one told Don Tillman, a handsome 39-year-old geneticist. Don's never had a second date, so he devises the Wife Project, a scientific test to find the perfect partner. Enter Rosie, the world's most incompatible woman, throwing Don's safe, ordered life into chaos. Just what is this unsettling alien emotion he's feeling? And I just thought this is quite interesting, a little bit funny. It reminds me a bit of you know, Bridget Jones's Diary, the last one, where she meets that guy and he has that like formula for love. It reminds me a little bit of that. Like this guy has got it in his head that like he has a certain set of requirements, and then someone else come along who's completely different. So looking forward to reading that one as well. I mean, I'm looking forward to reading all of them. I don't need to say that, do I? Change the record, Charlotte. So the next one, I've had this one for quite a while, and I pre-ordered it. In fact, I pre-ordered it last year, so this came in the post, and I was like, oh, what is that? And then I remembered. But I'm assuming if you're a bookworm, you know David Nichols. He is the author of One Day, which was a really popular book a few years back. I was a lot younger. I want to say that maybe I read it, God, it must have been a good maybe 8 years ago, something like that, I don't know. But this is his latest novel, and this is called Sweet Sorrow, and it's about one life-changing summer, and I think the blurb is on the inside, so I'll read it. Are we ready? Because I'm well excited about this one. 16-year-old Charlie Lewis is the kind of boy you don't remember in the school photograph. His exams have not gone well. At home he's looking after his father, when surely it should be the other way round. And if he thinks about the future at all, it's with a kind of dread. Then Fran Fisher bursts into his life, and despite himself, Charlie begins to hope. But if Charlie wants to be with Fran, he must take on a challenge that could lose him the respect of his friends and require him to become a completely different person. He must join the company, and if the company sounds like a cult, the truth is even more appalling. The price of hope, it seems, is Shakespeare. Poignant, funny, enchanting, devastating, Sweet Sorrow is a tragic comedy about the rocky path to adulthood and the confusion of family life, a celebration of the reviving power of friendship, and the brief, searing explosion of first love can only be looked at directly after it has burned out. Which sounds very deep, doesn't it? But I'm looking forward to reading that because he's just such a fantastic author, and I remember when I read One Day and I read it, I absorbed it. I literally I felt like the pages were burning when I read that book, and I remember it really clearly. And obviously it was made into a movie as well, so it kind of gives an author some extra credence when their book is made into a film, because then you kind of know it's really good, or at least suitable for film anyway. But I don't know, I was going to read the Lisa Jewell one, but I might read this one first. It's a toss up. Now I've got 3 left, so I'll try and whiz through them. The next one is one that I've seen doing the round a lot on social media, and it's called Half a World Away, which actually makes me think of the Oasis song. I don't know, that's just me. I'm not going to sing it and embarrass myself, but it's a bloody good song. This is by Mike Gale, who's also the author of The Man I Think I Know, and I'm going to read it to you. So, strangers living worlds apart, but it wasn't always that way. Kerry Hayes is a single mum living on a tough South London estate. She provides for her son by cleaning houses that she could never afford. Taken into care as a child, Kerry cannot forget her past. Noah Martineau is a successful barrister with a beautiful wife, daughter and a home in fashionable Primrose Hill. Adopted as a young child, Noah never looks back. When Kerry contacts Noah, the sibling she lost on the day they were torn apart as children, she sets in motion a chain of events that will change both of their lives forever. And I just thought this was a fantastic approach to adoption, children that were split apart, and I am really intrigued to see where it goes, because it's quite a challenging subject. It obviously does happen, and it just goes to show you that a lot of the time the path that you're on can completely change based on your good fortune and your circumstance, and you can start off in the same place, but it doesn't always mean that you'll end in the same place. And I'm really oh, these are good. I feel like I'm gonna have a very nice time escaping into those worlds rather than focusing too much on the one that I'm living in at the moment. Now this next one reminded me a little bit of season 2 of Marcella, if you've seen it, and this is called The Silent Patient, and on the front it said, only she knows what happened, only I can make her speak. And Alicia Berenson lived a seemingly perfect life until one day 6 years ago when she shot her husband in the head 5 times. She hasn't then said a single word. It's time to find out why. And I was sold. And then the final one, I haven't read anything from Marion Keyes for ages, but this is her latest novel, and this is called Grownups, and I just love her. And when you see an author that you really like and she's released something new, I wanted to support her, and I know this is going to be good. But this is the Grownups, so are you ready? Sit comfortably. They're a glamorous family, the Caseys. Johnny Casey, his 2 brothers Ed and Liam, and their beautiful talented wives, and all their kids spend a lot of time together. Birthday parties, anniversary celebrations, weekends away. They're a happy family. Johnny's wife Jessie, who has the most money, insists on it. Under the surface though, conditions are murkier. While some people clash, other people like each other far too much. Everything stays under control until Ed's wife Cara gets concussion and can't keep her thoughts to herself. One careless remark at Johnny's birthday party with the entire family present starts Cara spilling out all their secrets. In the subsequent unravelling, every one of the adults finds himself wondering if it's time to finally grow up. I just thought it sounded really good. Families have all got their own juicy secrets, haven't they, or their own issues. So that is all of them. I feel like it will probably take me a long time to get through all of those, to be fair, because despite being stuck inside, I'm still stuck inside with 3 small children who need a lot of my time, and we can't go anywhere. So I'm reading more at night or at the weekend when Mark takes over for a bit, and I can just get a bit of breathing space, because there's one thing I found at the moment is that I really just need to take a little break from everything and have some time to myself, just to sort of give my head a wobble and then get back into it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave links down below if that's helpful to you. I pretty much always get my books from Amazon because I've got Prime, so there will be Amazon links most likely, but do have Google first just to see if that's the cheapest price or not. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all safe and well. Please stay home, please stay safe, wash your hands. We are going to get through this, and I will hopefully see you all very soon.